going on, guys? Ian Fernando here, and I have a special guest today, which we're going to be going off a little topic in the affiliate marketing into just a bit, which is something that's very important to talk about, which is finances. And I know personally, sometimes I want to get paid within 3 days, especially if I'm doing high volume, or within 2 weeks. And there are other platforms that pay you bi-weekly, even every other month, pay out of net 45. And I have Samir from Juni, which will be talking about a unique way to approach finances in the online marketing world, I guess we can say. And I'm not sure if this is a full bank, if it's a real bank. Well, let Juni go ahead and Samir go ahead and introduce himself and talk about what Juni is all about and why I think it might be a game changer for the online marketing and affiliate networking side. So, Samir, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you. No, very grateful to be here and on the podcast, and lovely introduction of the subject, which is very dear to me. My name is Samir. So I'm from Sweden, and I'm a lawyer actually. Even if I hadn't worked so much in law, I worked a little bit with M&A. But most of my friends, when I grew up, they didn't want to be lawyers. Actually, I was the only one going to university. The rest of them wanted to become internet millionaires. So many of them started with performance marketing, e-com, and other, closely aligned industries. So when I was done with law school, two of them was actually became rather successful, asked me to join their company because they wanted someone to do all the boring stuff. So I did the finances, the accounting, the banking, all the legal for this company, and it was an eye opener. And it was also actually the beginning of Juni. So what's happened was that I was very frustrated with the different financial providers out there. And in our first company, what we did was very classic affiliate marketing. We had different, offers marketed. So we had a lot of different channels, liquidity issues. Unfortunately, that company didn't went so well, but we had another e-com that became a lifestyle success. And in that company, I also realized that even if you were growing, even if we did a lot of the right things, and I had learned even more about how to think about how to run a marketing company, there wasn't any easy way to either outsource manual processes or get the financial help we needed in order to grow at the right pace. So that frustration led to all the thinking, how can you build the best bank in the world for media buying? And that is what Juni is. And hopefully that is a vision we will be able to reach. Maybe not today, we only just launched, but soon.
So Juni is more of like, is it a portal for like incoming conversions and they can track all the payments, or is it like actual deposits from an affiliate network like ClickDealer or YepAds, and you see the actual deposits?
So both, I think, when we started the company, so what happened was that I started to work at the fintech and became CEO there, and I learned more about the banking industry and how to build like a card program and so on. And I met my co-founder, the first one, Anders, who's our CTO, and his wife has an e-com too. And we started to sketch like, how can you set up the best bank for media buying? When we did that, we looked at like everything I was doing. So
Okay.
that became a pretty holistic product then. So you have three parts. One, insights, knowledge, everything from just seeing the balances, understanding which costs go up, working capital, which advertising campaigns should you put more money into, which one should you stop. That was one part. The second part was what we call the banking tools, which is, cashback, credit line, spend limits, all of that. And the third was the automation. So what we tried to, and I think from the beginning, we wanted to create a product that were able to fulfill, the needs from a financial perspective to a media buyer. Both the case of, you want to track your finances, but also, instead of having to wait 45 days or 3 days, why can't you get that liquidity right now if we know they're coming?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that is true. That is very good. But then how would you work? I mean, just going off topic. So how would you work, like for example, with ClickBank, right? And they have such a high refund rate depending on like if it's a trial or subscription based product, and or the refund rates on ClickBank are kind of fairly high. That's why you have
Yeah,
networks such as like MaxWeb that deals with you with a fixed CPA, whereas
yeah.
ClickBank, the fixed CPA kind of averages out after 90 days, 45 days sometimes. So how
Yeah.
do you deal with that aspect?
I think there's some different parts of this. You're just looking at it as a case, ClickBank, or wanting to get something paid out quickly. You have the easiest version is that the money today is in the air, for a couple of days,
Correct.
and
Yes.
when someone has sent the money, it's fairly safe to say that the money will arrive. Like it's pretty hard to stop a transaction after a certain time and date when you send it, which means that we could at least in the most simple setup give you credit 2 days before you get the money, because or 1 day depending on where the network is based and where you are based. So that's the easiest part. And the other part is to give you credit based on what you earned. And as you say, you have then a little bit different factors. You have, there's refunds, there is fraud, and so on. And I think what we're looking at there is two parts. One is, for you, you may not be able to get 100% of your earned income from us in credit day one. But if we
Correct.
can give you 25%, that's still better than zero. So if we can, give you a part of that earned income, that will always be better in today's life, where you can't get anything before you actually get it on your income, on your bank account. And the other thing is that we over time can improve on that, because we're going to see your, how much money you get in, how much is refunded, the fraud rate, and so on. And obviously, we will always take a risk, but then there's always, profit for us being made because we're giving you that credit. So
Correct.
then I'm certain that we can, because we're so focused on one segment, be able to give you a solution which is much better for you than to go to a random bank and try to convince them that, oh, I have great campaigns. I'm going to get 60% of income to Click. I'm going to go through. They're going to be like, ClickBank, who's that?
Yeah, no bank will
Um,
understand that at all for sure. That I agree
no,
with.
no.
They're like,
And I
no, we
think
can't give you this because we don't know who Click Dealer is. Who is Click Dealer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
and I think, and that's our great advantage, that we know the industry. So our compliance people, they look at transactions every day, and they only look at transactions that is usual, are common in the industry. They don't look at another generic customer. And I think that is one of one of the main things that our investors really realize, that having that focus on one customer segment is so powerful. The other part is, you have collaboration with the network. So for us, it's also a possibility to work together with ClickBank or ClickDealer or any other network, so they can pay out quicker to us,
mhm,
and we can also get more of the data directly. And I think then you can have a situation where you actually are, dividing the credit risk also. But you have, before we go forward, I think what people underestimate also is that for us, it's easier to take a higher risk on the liquidity part if you, as a affiliate or ecom, have more of your business with us. Because if you have a lot of money with Juni, if you have a lot of your business with us, then obviously we will know more about you. We have more security in how you act. We'll have more data. So, and we will also make more money from you because of the interchange and so on, which means that we can take a much higher risk than a regular bank, or like PayPal or Stripe, who doesn't maybe have all your business in the same with them, so to speak. So I think over
right,
time
that
it
makes
will
sense.
be easy for us as long as we focus. The big risk here, it would be if we would try to take more customer segments at the same time.
Cool. Now, you said earlier that you have people that are reviewing the transactions on their account. Are these employees, past media buyers, past affiliate owners, past like traffic network owners, etc.? Like, how do they know the industry? How do they know to trust an affiliate network versus a brand new that's going to open up tomorrow?
Yeah.
How do they know, or are they in the industry as well?
So right now, obviously we are 30 people, so we're not so big.
Okay.
And right now, the compliance team is mainly lawyers and people that worked with compliance. But we have, you know, every question that comes up. So we don't look at every transaction. We set certain rules, and those rules are adjusted to the environment we're in. So we can white label, a certain vendor, Mailchimp. Like my bank, my Swedish ex bank in my first company, they called me up and like, this $8,000 to Mailchimp, we stopped it because it seemed high. And I'm like, why? Don't you know that you can have that kind of mailing list? That and I think that's a big difference with us. But then when it comes up a situation where we see something that is out of the box, so to speak, then they can talk with the rest of the team, which is primarily people from the industry, worked in the industry either as entrepreneurs and affiliates, or working for AdNet, so on, and understand much more. And obviously, then if you're in the Juni environment, every day we talk, affiliate, we talk e-com. So it's, if you don't learn about it quickly, then you can't
That's
be
true.
here. So that is very, very, very focused. And right now, we launched last week, and we have just invited less than 8% of our waiting list,
Mhm.
and we have, starting to get a lot of onboarded customers. We actually have now, in 1 week, we got 65 active customers using our cards and accounts, which feels amazing. And we learn every day from them, and we talk with them, all the time. So I think if we talk again in half a year, I think the knowledge from our people about how a regular affiliate finances is and what they need help with would be extraordinary.
Now, how does so for an account, I guess, do we get like our own? Does it act like TransferWise? Do we get our own wire banking information for the US? Do we get our own London routing number from UK? Or how does money get deposited into my Juni account, for example?
Yeah, a great question, and it's very simple. So when you sign up with your email and name, and then you go through KYB, know your customer, or business in this case, and it's very simple. We just need a very little information from you and your passport, and then we create automatically for you one euro account and one GBP sterling account. And the sterling account has, sort code and routing number and so on. And the euro account has IBAN, and it's together with our partner banks. So you can do a SEPA transaction from TransferWise. A lot of our customers use PayPal and TransferWise,
Right.
and they can do it like in 10 seconds, and you get the money in your account.
Oh
And then
wow.
you can create unlimited virtual cards. So it's, obviously, if someone creates 1,000 cards, I will have to ask, because what happens is that Visa comes to me and it's like, Samir, you have companies that create thousands of cards. Can you give us a good reason why that is a good thing? But if you can give me a good reason, like, oh, but I need them for this and this, we have different brands, we need one new card per ad account, which is okay for us, then you can create as many as you want and earn 1% cash back on them. So all your spend. And you can create
Yeah.
cards in the currency, either in sterling or in euro. And we're also working on adding USD right now. So hopefully we can have USD accounts and cards up and running in the next 2-3 months.
Nice. Now, a big question, since this is banking and finance. I know some networks do pay in Bitcoin. Do you have that access on your back end as well, or?
Not yet. So a lot of our companies, big crypto fans. So it's it's a very hot topic. Our plan is, so we will get a new license in Sweden, and EMI license, as it's called,
Okay.
in hopefully in June, and then we can build our own crypto availability. So then you can have your own crypto wallet with Juni also. So hopefully we will be able
An
to,
actual address wallet, not like a
not
Robinhood. Okay.
No, exactly. And I think we'll do it hopefully together with a partner, because I don't think we should try to build it out ourselves.
Yeah.
But hopefully you can, in the same way we today have banking partners with different currencies. So, we can have a partner that help our customers to have the wallet for if they want to have Bitcoin or Ethereum or Phantom. I don't know what people will want, but
Yeah.
obviously we see the trend that in your company account you want to not only have fiat money.
Interesting. Very, very cool. That's pretty cool. I know some affiliate networks there, they do pay in Bitcoin. I mean, it's not listed on the back. You just have to ask them. Most
Yeah,
networks do not pay in Bitcoin, but if you're high volume, you can literally ask and they'll pay out on it. Um, Now, virtual cards. It's a very hot
yeah,
topic, especially for Facebook and Google accounts. I know personally that I've used hundreds of cards for Google accounts specifically. Now, are you not scared? Like maybe there might be some sort of fraud, misconception of how to use the cards or misuse the cards, turning burning cards. This is very very typical in like trying to scale a Facebook campaign when you probably have like 1,000 Facebook business managers, but you're only allowed to spend maybe 500 at a
yeah,
time while you're warming it up to 2.5K. Like,
yeah.
how you gonna manage all that? You know what I mean?
So I think it's like we had the same problem in my previous companies. Both warming up, and obviously if something gets wrong, and you never know with Facebook, it's very hard to talk with them. Their support is obviously not
Oh,
there for
yeah,
you.
the worst.
So but I think we have a Visa Business Platinum Credit Card bin, which is the highest tier of Visa cards. And
Okay.
we wanted to have that for two reasons. One, for the spend limits, because we can now offer spend limits that's really, really high. But also because the credit bins, and especially the platinum credit bins, are usually very protected. It needs to be a lot of problems before anyone would create a problem for Visa about it. And Visa is very well aware about what we are doing, what we are targeting, and they actually see, which is very interesting. I think when I came to them first and talked with them about this partnership, they were like, "We see in our data the media buying going up, e-commerce going up, affiliate going up," and they love that and they want to capture that. And their biggest competitor is a Mastercard, so they doesn't want us to go with Mastercard. So they know
Yeah,
about this, and we talked about the different problems. And obviously we need to be alert if someone does illegal things. But I think it all comes down to the fact that we are now in an era where more and more providers are very openly creating cards for different purposes. Like if you look at Penta banking solution in Germany, you could create a virtual card for this subscription and a virtual card for this subscription.
oh
So
yeah,
that's something that are becoming more and more usual. So only because 5 6 cards are closed or declined because any reason, that doesn't affect Juni in any way. But obviously if someone would in a very purposeful way create a lot of cards in order to do something they're not allowed to, I would be very what will happen is that we Visa would contact me because Google would contact them, or
yeah,
Facebook, and then Visa would say to me like, Samir, why haven't you seen this? You next time you need to stop because of this and this. So obviously we have to tread carefully there and stop people who obviously abuse the system. But if you don't abuse it, it's no problem at all.
got it. And I'm assuming you'll have like a back end checkpoint list, maybe an AI or machine learning to make sure everything is going smoothly, right? I'm assuming
Yes.
that's
Yes,
awesome.
and I think there's something also like in case of fraud, that's something actually have happened a lot in the industry. The Visa APIs is also much better. Before it was like decline for everything or yes to it was very black and white.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Now
very,
it's so
yeah,
much
yeah,
more smooth.
yeah. Because you get a reason code and you're like, I've never seen this reason code at all before, you
Yeah,
know. So very,
yeah,
very interesting.
and yeah, and I think like 5 years ago there was this talk like, oh, this bin has been banned or blacklisted, and I would when I talk with Visa today, that's nothing that is okay can happen, because they can in much more granular ways look it up and close down accounts for certain companies if they really abuse the system.
Yeah, I mean, there's always ways to go around things, right? But as long as people try to tread carefully in the gray white hat manner and not go too aggressive in the black hat side, then I think it'll work fine. You know what I mean? Because
I
we
agree
went,
100%.
yeah, because I've went to banks before, and I would be like, I just need to order 100 cards, and they would just look at you like, for what? You know, you have listed here under your company with 6 employees. I'm like, yeah, but each person needs, at least 25 cards for these accounts, and they definitely don't understand that. So I'm assuming with your platform is tailored towards marketers, e-commerce, affiliate marketers, that it's pretty much a no questions game, maybe a quick interview or question Q&A with an account manager that's attached to the account that will be like, okay, yeah, Ian, that sounds pretty normal in the industry. Here's your 100 cards or whatever, right?
100 cars would be zero question. I think, when you're coming about, if you're looking about, much more than, like, I don't know, 300 cars or more, then and it's also, when we look at the transaction volumes, and if you close them down after one day, or, obviously there's more factors than just the cards, but that's the thing here. Like, we are focused on one group, so we can compare with other media buyers, we can compare with our knowledge, and we can also look at actual, full picture, and not only be, really afraid and say, like, okay, this is the line for us, and we just close it down because we're a generic bank and doesn't want anything outside of what's generic.
Yeah. Now, very very odd question, since this is kind of off topic into the affiliate and media buying side. As an advertiser, can an advertiser person use just getting deposits from multiple merchants into June?
If you can advertise, how do you mean?
Like an advertiser, like I used to own
Yeah,
a neutral brand, right? And
yeah,
I would apply to these merchants that does
yeah,
processing. I wouldn't use Stripe. I wouldn't use PayPal to process my
yeah,
transactions, right? So I would process with, I don't know, PaySafe, right? And
yeah,
then they would deposit to my bank, but I would have a 10% recurring or whatnot, and then that I would see that deposit maybe 30 days later, 45 days later, 60 days later. Since
yeah.
this is technically a bank deposit, I can deposit into this, correct,
Yes,
from another
no
merchant.
problem.
Now
Yes,
the question on top of that is the liquidity part, right?
yeah,
Let's say my reserve is 10% in the beginning, and I did 100K. Obviously, 10K is in reserve. My rolling reserve doesn't start till 6 months later, right?
yeah.
So, will you need an accounting person to look at past transaction, CRM, to get an advance on, let's say, a 10K reserve? Would be the question.
So yes, so what we're looking at right now is to be able to give credit for the rolling reserve, or the, deposition, in the case where we can integrate. So if you have, like, my previous company, we had it on PayPal, so we had 40% of all income had to be on PayPal for 45 days. And I think those cases are the easiest because then we integrate with PayPal, and then we see that you
Yeah,
have the money there. We can make a risk assessment and then, give you credit based on that. I think when it comes through sources that we can't integrate with, that will come later on and will mean that we need to, get information from you or from that source. And that's a little bit more problematic, but I think in the end we will come there. But that will be more of a, regular credit assessment, you writing, we asking. But that's one of the main ideas here. We don't want anyone failing or missing out to growth because they have to have deposits or, rolling reserves, because there's always a way to value that. Like, if you have $40,000 somewhere, there's
yeah,
always a way for me to say, okay, I maybe can't give you $40,000, but I can give you 15,000,
yeah.
because 40,000 is more. There's some security in that they have the money there.
Correct, correct. Now, this another question is for app developers, right?
Yeah,
When they use Apple and Google, obviously there's I think a 90-day wait period before your first initial deposit
yeah,
in that aspect. So let's say I'm brand new starting, and I have to wait 90 days for that first deposit, and there's no history with Juni. So
yeah.
is how would that liquidity aspect look like? Will there be a potential to be like, hey, I have 25K waiting from
Yeah.
Google Play or Apple Pay. What information do you need from my side to be like, hey, I know you can't give me 25K, but can you give me 10K, right?
Yeah. To be honest, we haven't looked at that case, but it sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
We haven't, been so close to any app development, and payouts. But it sounds like that's very similar to the cases we're looking at. So I will look into it. But obviously, if how you describe it, it sounds like there is, especially if it's Apple or Google. Obviously, the source of the deposit or the rolling reserve is very reliable. So then the question is, what's the data for how much is actually paid out, how much is
correct.
refunded and so on, and then we'll see what's the risk to take in here. But I'm certain that if we would want to go that way, we will be able to find a credit to give. That is, and I think if you look at most banks today, it's not that they couldn't do some of these things. It's just that they are not built in that way. It's very hard to change.
Oh yeah, of
We
course.
that when you have that kind of legacy and manual processes based on someone sending you an Excel sheet instead of looking at the actual source, and you don't even know what the rolling reserve is, and you don't know what those kind of payment terms is, like, then obviously that becomes an impossible solution for you. But for us, I think what's the difference in the big picture between having to wait 45 days net on Alibaba. If you're a good big buyer there, you get some kind of rewards, 3-2%, and those gets paid out 45 days later when we money
Y-
from Google Play.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, it's because this concept's very, very interesting. Because there's always this what I see in our industry. There's always this wait period where someone can't scale sometimes, right? I know sometimes for me there might be a
Yeah,
month and a half where I can't run ads because I have to wait for a 100K deposit, sometimes, and that kind of slows me down, slows the
yeah,
business down, etc. And this happens not just on the affiliate side, the advertiser side as well, and for app developers specifically. So this obviously looks like a platform where I can just be like, log in, connect, look at all my deposits. What can I apply for advances here and there, and go from there. Now, I'm looking at kind of like the Juni website interface. I see HSBC. I guess I can connect my actual bank here, right? As well. Would
yes.
I be able to do that?
So you can integrate with your current bank. Yes, so you can integrate with your current bank and your payment gateways, and we're working on adding more integrations. Right now we're in beta. It's free. There's no fees for any transactions, and you get 1% cashback. So not everything is there, but we're adding more and more features over time. But right now, most banks in Europe are available. Most banks in US. So we've you can get a pretty good picture of your current economy, so to speak.
Pretty cool. Now, are you connecting it through like plaid.com and like the security issues and all that? So
So we work together with Plaid as a partner and SaltEdge, and we're probably going to add more open banking partners because no open banking partner is like globally, best. There's different coverage, so we're going to probably add another one in Europe and probably some more globally. I don't think we will do the banking integrations ourselves. So we're much more
yeah.
focusing on ad integrations, ad network integrations, affiliate network integrations, ecom platform integrations on our own.
Now, I think last question, which is going to be a little more controversial because this is interesting.
Yeah,
Now, since you've been in the industry, I've been in the industry. The always things that come up in these types of new advances that come from an affiliate mindset, used to be affiliate, used to be online marketer, is, oh, this person used to be an affiliate or is a marketer. He has access and can view my transactions, view my deposits.
yeah,
Like, what do you say to those types of comments on your platform? Because technically, you have the back end, right? You do see
yeah,
incoming traffic. You can be like, you know what, this Ian is running offers from Yep Ads or Click Dealer or MaxWeb. Let's hit up MaxWeb and start running order offers or whatnot, right?
yeah.
So how secure is my data that's being deposited into the platform? Does it
Yeah.
act like a true bank? Is it FDIC secured? All these things. Let's get dig deep into that before we end.
Yeah. No, I think So maybe so I think there's a lot of different levels on this, but it's an interesting topic. First of all, I think for me, we are 100% focused on building the best bank for media buyers, and I think that is a huge proposition, a huge market. And if I'm going to be, crazy rich, it's because I success in this, not because I'm able to do another affiliate or ecom. So I think that is the first, obviously. The second part is that we are, a company based in Sweden. We have investors that is, have a lot of reputation online. Cherry Ventures, Exalando, Sofia Benz from the global CMO at the shop Spotify. We have, one of the iSettle founding team, Jarno, who is the founder of Naked, one of the biggest ecom, and Klarna founders and so on. So we have I think we have a lot online, so to speak. The other part is that our partners and Visa, and the Rails Bank, and also the FCA demands us to have very, very strong compliance. So if you look at our compliance team, besides only the person working for us right now, we have, the ex-head of compliance at Klarna in our board, and Marcus Ellman, who is chief risk officer at Avanza Bank, as an advisor. And also our auditor is, besides auditing our company, is auditing 10 other banks in the Nordics. So he's a very, very well-known auditor. So that's, from the outside. And I think that should hopefully make everyone comfortable in that we are controlled and looked upon as any other financial institution. The other part is, the data security. And I actually think we are better. We are hiring, great developers. We're building it from scratch to make it as secure as possible. And that we are very focused because for us the worst thing that can happen is that someone is afraid that the data will be lost or taken. So we're doing
Right.
everything in our power to make that will never happen. Either it's through cryptation or encryption, or if it's through layers of data that you can't go into and we can't even see some parts of it. That is one part. And lastly, and I think that this is the most important part, you choose yourself what you integrate with. Like we don't want anyone to integrate their ad networks if they feel uncomfortable with sharing that data. So
Yeah.
I think it's a customer to customer case. I would say most people I talk with feel rather open. They are more afraid that they will have malware on their computer, and that will see either Google AdWords, or in the stats, or they will be hacked in another way. Then I think they're afraid that we would, take it from them. But it's been really important from the beginning. Very visibly, I live in Gotham. In Europe can come and visit me. It's not that we are in any way try to hide or faceless faceless website, and
Yeah.
it's like I have a pseudonym. We are real people, and we and hopefully soon we'll meet all of our customers real life also, after this pandemic has slowed down a
Uh,
little bit.
for
Maybe I
real.
hope we can come out and be on different conferences. That would be really nice, and we plan to host user conferences and so on. But it's I think your question is 100% valid, and it's a case for every company that have sensitive data. Who can you trust? And
Yeah.
we are very focused on making sure people feel that they can trust us.
Yeah. No, I understand that fully, just because I've made software in the industry, and even affiliates, like, we won't use your software because you used to be an affiliate,
Yeah.
but it went from like a B to A, business to affiliate, I guess, to almost a B to N, where affiliates wouldn't work with the network unless that network was on my software, right? So it
Yeah.
actually, the business actually shifted from me going to one-on-one affiliates to actually the network. So it kind of worked in my favor a little bit. So
Yeah.
okay, awesome. I guess that's it for now, everyone. Hopefully you had enjoyed the podcast. This is Juni Juni.co. They are in beta, correct? You just launched last week. Let's just go
Yes.
deep into that real quick. What they have to see in the back end, how they sign up, and how can they contact you?
So what we have right now is, you can get your accounts, the euro accounts, your sterling accounts. You can create as many virtual cards as you want, and you can integrate your payment gateways and current banking accounts. So that is the focus of the beta, and it's, in two words, it's about, tracking your finances and get an overview, and being able to spending at 1% cashback. We will also roll out a lot of new features in the next 2-3 weeks. And as I started off saying, we have over 3,200 companies on the waiting list. Less than 100 is onboarded yet, so there's a lot of them left. But if you want to be on the waiting list, and if you're really eager to start, join our Facebook community and mail me at samir@juni.co and apply for the beta on our website, and we will try to put you in the next batch or the batch after. We really love when people want to work with Juni, try it out, and give us feedback. And that is all about. We want to create the best bank for media buying together with the community. We don't want to do it on our end and just push it on
Yeah.
people. We want you to be part of it.
Awesome, man. Thanks, Samir. Thanks again for being on this podcast and explaining this whole new banking platform to the world. I know I wish I had something like this in the past that aggregated everything and then actually gave me some cash back to help me scale certain campaigns. So it's very, very good. So everybody, thanks for listening in. This is Affiliate Business Conversations with Samir from Juni.co, and we're out.